And I'm sorry, this excuse, they're just doing their jobs, they're just following orders when they're doing those checkpoints. Well, everyone along the chain of the COVID scam is following orders and doing their jobs. What's your point? Hitler and Stalin didn't do the killing themselves. They got the police and their soldiers to do it for them. Apparently the line, "I'm just doing my job," is supposed to be an argument winner. Like, it's okay that we have no freedoms so long as the person enforcing the tyrannical rules is being paid by taxpayers' money and acting under orders by a government who hates the people. That's supposed to be an actual argument. So, you can't go beyond 20 kilometers to the beach, right? But apparently, it's absolutely fine when the Gardaí do this. I take it that these were all necessary trips that these police officers took when this was filmed? Just like with dancing nurses in hospitals, the public is being gaslit here. This is done deliberately. It also serves as a form of Stockholm Syndrome propaganda to make the oppressed people of Ireland identify with their captors. Aren't the police who are restricting our movements and taking our freedoms so cool? They're awesome! Just keep in mind, you're not allowed to travel to those various locations around Ireland that you see in this video. If you do, you'll be fined. This is pure gaslighting, like I say. Apparently, there's a major pandemic going on right now, and it's very serious. So serious that the police enforce checkpoints everywhere and get heavy-handed with protesters on the streets. Like, as you can see here. This was Grafton Street a number of months ago, during a protest against the lockdown. But at the same time, here's the guards travelling the length and breadth of the country during a so-called pandemic to dance for a light-hearted bit of fun, which you're not allowed to do, and if you do, you'll be fined, possibly arrested. If you protest the restrictions like these scenes on Grafton Street some months ago, you will also be arrested. It's one rule for the authorities and another rule for you. The public are just worthless plebs to the establishment at this stage. And of course, Paddy is so cowardly, browbeaten and broken that he'll just justify all of this as, sure, the guards work very hard. They need to blow off some steam. Will you lighten up? It's just a bit of crack. It's just a bit of fun. It's nice to see something fun these days as opposed to all the doom and gloom. Sure, blah, 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 whatever. And here the guards are dancing on the beach. I guess police travelling to the beach to dance is essential police work now. But if you go there, you'll be fined. You can't go to church, open your business, attend funerals, see your loved ones before they die, alone in a care home. You can't get essential cancer treatment. You can't go to school, see your friends and family, or go to the gym, for example, or do any of the things that give life meaning and help people to cope with the stresses and strains of everyday life. And you can't travel unrestricted, but at least the guards can travel the length and breadth of the country with a camera crew to make a viral dance-off video for social media. Because that's what the police and nurses do during a pandemic. They dance in social media videos. Apparently. Keep in mind, the police would have spent weeks rehearsing something like this. So just have a think about that. They are rubbing this in your faces. The obvious double standard is deliberate. It's meant to confuse and insult you. It's meant to put you in your place. Stay in your box. Make you realize that the rules don't apply to some people. Only you. This is a true...
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hi, Roxy. How are you? Yeah, so this was a video clip from January 2021. And he's very good. He has a bunch of videos. I follow him on Odyssey. I'm sure he's on YouTube as well. I wouldn't doubt. And so this was January 2021. And what I found interesting is a couple of things. One is how this craziness that went on with the dancing nurses and police and firemen all over the world, right? It wasn't, this is just example was Ireland, but it happened everywhere, right? And everybody wondered what is going on. Why are they dancing? And like he points out, it was meant to confuse everyone. It was meant to make you think, what is going on here? How can they be dancing, right? While we were being forced to lock down, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And I've repeatedly said this is a form of brainwashing. They were trying to brainwash the public, the entire world. And the steps to brainwashing are quite simple when you want to brainwash someone. Number one, first step is isolation, right? Tell everybody to stay home, lock down. And the second step is manipulating the environment to make it look like everything's changed. It's what I believe in MK Ultra, they use the Alice in Wonderland effect, they call it. They make it seem like everything's completely changed in the world while you're isolated. And then they come out with the change. Step 3 is coming out with the changes that, it's a whole new world now. So we have a new normal. And the new normal is, and they put in place the restrictions on your liberties and freedoms. And so one of the new normals was, well, you're supposed to get an injection every 3 months or 6 months, right? So that was the new normal they're trying. And they're, I believe, still going to try to do that. And the reason is because just today, John Fleetwood, I don't know if you follow him, he's a very good journalist with a Substack here. Now, it appears as if Kennedy is pushing back and Trump pushing back against the WHO and whatnot. But he just found out that Congress is passing a bill that would be giving Gavi, which is owned by Bill Gates, $3.5 billion in funding for another pandemic. The U.S. House of Representatives last month in January 2026 passed a sweeping federal spending bill that makes $3.5 billion available for pandemic-related purposes. So what you just watched there, all the dancing nurses and everything, they're gearing up for a version 2 of this. The globalists have not been held accountable, and Trump has not stopped the clot shots. We're only now just being able to talk about it, right? Of course, be heavily suppressed, freedom of speech, not freedom of reach. So I'm sure my channel is just going to diminish to 2 followers anytime now. But, you got to say, they're gearing up for it. The bill makes funds available to Bill Gates' vaccine cartel, the Gavi Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization, despite HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. withdrawing from the American funding for Gavi of June last year. So it looks like, I don't know if they're doing this purposefully to switcheroo on us, if this is all coordinated, or if the government is pushing back against Kennedy. But Kennedy withdrew from Gavi, so we're not giving you any more funding. And so now Congress has just gone around him with a spending bill and given $3.5 billion available to Gavi. So Bill Gates is getting his money one way or another. So this could all just be smoke and mirrors to deceive us while they're giving him funding anyways. But it appears, if this is true, if this happened, and it looks like it did, it appears that that they're paying Bill Gates and saying, okay, let's do it again, another pandemic. So they've been gearing up with the what recently, the bird flu, and they have all sorts of COVID variants that they make up, and I'm sure they've got monkeypox and Ebola and Nipah virus. I mean, all these viruses, these lies that they can make up and say there's another pandemic. So it does look like they may be gearing up to do it again. Yeah. So good to see you, Roxy. I'm glad to see you back. Many of your neighbors were brainwashed. Ruined our neighborhood. Yeah, ruined the entire world the way they've been brainwashing us. And we're all, even if you're not brainwashed, you're suffering from PTSD, right? I mean, this is so traumatic, what they did to us, and the fact that they haven't been held accountable, and the clot shots are still out there, even though people know how dangerous it is, even if they have all their bots on the internet and on Reddit saying, oh, no, it's perfectly safe. I'd get it again and again. They really, you can't trust anything on the internet, especially with AI. AI is putting out a lot of fake videos. It's all over YouTube is AI. Every animal video you see just about. So it's becoming more and more perilous to try to find the truth out, especially on the internet. But I wanted to focus on why Trump had, what it would take. Like, Trump obviously hasn't stopped the clot shots. It doesn't seem to be intending to. It seems like they're trying to. And the next time around, they learned lessons from the first time around. People were pretty obedient. Nobody saw it coming. But if they do this BS again, I mean, I think people are better prepared, I hope. But they want to get everybody jabbed up with Bill Gates's nanotechnology. And by the way, there was graphene in there. You can go into more research on that. The pegylated lipid nanoparticles. Well, a PEG means there's graphene in it. And the reason that's important is because graphene is used to create an electrical charge that allows the human body to be connected to the internet, or the internet of things, or the internet of bodies that they want. They want to be able to monitor you and control you via the internet, AI. So that's an aside for this now, for this reading. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about what happened and what they did and how they did it, and about the clot shots. It's still, again, nothing's been settled. No apologies. No, we'll never let that happen again. It's still, they're gearing up for the next one, is what it looks like. Yeah. Hi, Tiger Eye. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, how much of that involves Elon? Well, Elon's with them, in my opinion. They're all together. It's one big club, and we ain't in it. But anyways, today's reading, I want to focus in on what it would take to get Trump to stop the clot shots. So I'm using death for stopping something, but also represents all the death and destruction that they're hiding it. They're hiding all the deaths, just like they're hiding the tranny shootings. In that, this past week, we had 2 mass shootings by trannies, one in Canada and one in the U.S. and Rhode Island. So they're hiding that in the mainstream media, and they're also the mainstream media is also covering up for all the deaths they're causing. They're right. Oh, they are coming out with articles like, "Oh, so many young people are dying of cancer. That's never happened before." But they act like they have no idea. It's like a joke, right? Everybody says, "Oh, they have no idea what's going on. Why all these people are having myocarditis and pericarditis. They have no idea what's causing it." Doctors are baffled, right? That's always their key phrase. They're baffled. So they're covering up everything, the injuries, the deaths. They're trying to cover it up. So the clot shots are still out there. And people keep asking Kennedy, who obviously knows how dangerous these shots, everybody does at this point. So I'm wondering why Trump, or what it will take to get Trump. I'm not looking into why necessarily. Maybe might see a little bit of that here. But I'm wondering what it'll take to get Trump. What will it take to finally get him to stop these clot shots? I mean, I know it's all money. This is all about making money. That's all it has been. It's in the This is all in the Epstein files. He is helped coordinate and create all of this, making money from pandemics, killing off people and getting all their money. So, and bring in the New World Order, taking away all your rights to property and everything else, your children, and brainwashing them. They want to bring in the tyranny, and they want you to just be brainwashed into it and sleepwalk into it, in my opinion. So let's see here. But let's see, what will it take to get Trump to stop the clot shots? What will it take? I mean, doctor after doctor has come out and said, stop these mRNA injections. They're killing us. Stop it. They're giving it to babies, to newborn babies. They're still giving it out in 2026. Hasn't been stopped. It's on the vaccine schedule the doctors follow. So let's see here. What will it take to get Trump to stop these shots? And let's see. Let's find out. What will it take to get Trump to stop the clot shots? Let's see here. Okay, it's a 12 card spread here. 4 coins reversed. I'm just going to go around. Empress reversed. Ace of Wands reversed. 2 of Swords. Hierophant. Oh, there's a Death card coming back. Sun reversed. 8 of Cups. 10 of Coins. Judgment reversed. Knight of Swords. Hangman. Wow. All right, so what will it take? What will it take? Yeah, well, first of all, it'll take him, starting over here, number 1, it'll take him to let go of this money-making venture that all these greedy globalists have been, like Bill Gates and the rest. They've been overly greedy here, and they got to let it go. They got to drop it. Dropping the clot shots is dropping. I mean, even Vice President Vance, right? He's invested in the self-amplifying vaccines, and they're all invested in it. It's all money making. And so for him to get around, to get Trump to stop these clot shots, he'd have to give up this greediness and this graspiness of making money off of these injections. Yeah, turbo cancers, exactly. All these things that are just getting people ill. And they're making money from big pharma's making money, the hospital's making money off of injuring people. Yeah, and we got the Empress reversed here for what he has to work with, and the fact that fertility is down because people can't get pregnant now because of these shots. Bill Gates is infamous for making shots that kill fertility in women, and this is the procreation. This is improving the environment, and instead they're taking away in every country that took these shots, the birth rate is down. It's a known thing that that more and more trouble giving birth, a lot more miscarriages happening, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, that's, I feel, the biggest push to get him to do this is to point out, there's going to be no one left if you don't do it. It's literally there's no going to be no more people. And of course, people like Yuval Harari are always talking about, oh, we don't need these humans anymore. We have AI, yeah, but there's going to be no more. It's really the urgency of this decline in fertility is a major issue here that could push him to do this, to stop the clot shots. What he needs to change here, I'm getting, is he needs to, give up defending these shots and give up trying to pretend like it was a good thing. It wasn't. They were forced on people. And he has to give up a major thing he was proud of. He always wants to brag about warp speed. It was nothing to be proud of, in my opinion. And they try it again. That's just going to be another attack on us. So he's going to have to give up something that he used to, promote himself. And here in this card, what backs him up is secret support here. I get that, he's got a lot of people that are not telling him the truth as well and not informing him. People are afraid to say anything to him about it, and that's a problem. It seems like a no-go zone. In fact, I remember back in the COVID time, the first pandemic, when Trump was going to, I forget what he was going to do. He was going to do something, I guess hire Kennedy or something, and to be on the warp speed, and Bill Gates told him, no, that's a dead end, don't do that. So he's got a lot of people who are preventing him from finding out the truth as well, and stop him from moving in the direction of removing these clot shots. There's a lot of blockages there blocking him. His secret weapon here, which is interesting, oh no, wait a minute here. This is no what he has to have the courage to do. Excuse me. This is what he needs the courage to do. Major arcana here, the Hierophant, which is of course about morality and doing the right thing. He is trying to bring Christianity back, but you can't do that if you're working with deception and you're not doing the right thing, the upstanding, moral, correct thing to do. So he needs to take a lead on this and do the right thing. And details he needs to address, and this is where we get to the excess deaths and the excess mortality. That needs to be cleared up because there's a lot of obfuscation and deception and hiding away. I've heard the VAERS data has been hiding the effects and the deaths caused by their injections. So that needs to be looked into. And also there's a man in Massachusetts who is going over the death certificates from the hospitals there and discovering the deceptions there, where they were covering up and how they were covering up vaccine deaths, basically trying to make it look like they were COVID deaths. There's a lot of that going around. Same with the nursing homes and whatnot. So these need to be addressed and looked into and analyzed and correctly. Dying from COVID or dying with COVID, that whole thing needs to be fixed, right? Because there was so much corruption there as far as the actual death counts going on. Because another thing, in 2020, there was no excess deaths. Excess deaths didn't start happening until 2021 when the shots went out. That's what I heard. That's what they're saying. So what does he need to do? I got the sun here. What he needs to... the sun, of course, is a card with a child on it, right? You need to think of the children in the future. And he needs to, work with powerful groups who are fighting against this injection, like the Corona Committee and other groups who want him to do this and are pushing for it and can promote this and help him tremendously in getting this done and fixing things so they don't happen again. So secrets I get here, what he doesn't know about, what he's unaware of, is I think that he's unaware of the fact of how many people have walked away from this whole scam and are turning their back on him and these clot shots. Like, it's a lost cause at this point, what I'm getting from this card. I think he's unaware of exactly how many people. I think he's being deceived, perhaps by his own group around him, into thinking that there's a lot more support than there really is. Because don't forget, you got bots online and you've got AI videos. So they can make it appear as if all these people just love the clot shots, when in reality, nobody does. I heard that another news article, as an aside, Bill Gates and his company with AI, they can monitor you, and then if you die, their AI can figure out your profile, your personality, and continue on generating posts from your account after you die. So it looks like you're still alive. And you could, because AI is so good at imitating people, people could write to you and the AI would write back and you would think you're talking to that person. So have you ever heard the dead internet theory? I've heard about maybe that mostly the internet is dead and there's really nobody there. I think that's what's kind of going on here. I think that he's being deceived as well as most people are about. Even when I looked at Reddit when somebody asked on Reddit, do you regret taking the injection? And immediately people or bots, whatever they were, replied, "Oh no, I don't regret it. I'm very happy I did it. I'm so good. I do it again." Like, so you get these, comments that are obviously BS. I really don't think there's anybody that happy or excited about. Maybe there are some crazies out there, but no, I think that there's a lot of bots out there. I know there are, especially for pharma. We're flooded with them everywhere. It's like Harry and Meghan, Sussex Squad, and their craziness. They're obviously, people paid, but also bots. That type of thing going on. And they threw a lot of money around to big and small influencers online to get them to push this. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, anyways, this position number 9 is about Trump's hopes and desires, and of course, are back to the money. But he also wants to make the country flourish, right? He's trying to bring the economy back. He's bringing coal back. He does want financial independence and people to flourish, right? He wants the West to do well. He does feel strongly about that. Well, the West is not going to continue if there's no babies, so you got to get on that. If he wants to see things flourish, we need more babies, right? Because the birth rates are down everywhere in the West. So that's another key, I think, to influence him for our country, the West, coming back strong, right? The end result here, that's interesting. I get judgment reversed. So I think that this is going back over and not moving on to the new. I see this upright as like going to the new normal. Like a whole new way of life, because what they want is to go to a whole new normal, right? They kept calling it. What do you say here? You said she hasn't had it since stopping them. Oh, so she was getting COVID when she was getting the shots, and now she doesn't get it anymore because she stopped. Or is that the flu? The flu, I've heard that people say they get the flu shot and then they catch the flu. But if you don't get the flu shot, you don't get the flu. That's what I've heard. Yeah. Yeah, she always got it after the jab. Exactly. People got it because that was one of the side effects in the Pfizer documents. Was one of the it says that one of the side effects of getting the COVID shot was getting COVID. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, unbelievable, right? So I think this will stop. This will stop the globalists from doing their New World Order garbage. This would stop it in their tracks, because if they can't do another pandemic, the only way they can bring in their tyranny around the world is with these fake pandemics that Fauci made up with his buddies there. But the end result, but also, this is a very murderous card here. So if he does this, he knows he's putting his life in danger big time, because they'll come out to kill him. Big Pharma, Fauci, the World Economic Forum. They will send hitmen to kill him for real if he does this. So, not surprisingly, his life is in danger. Trump's life and all of our lives are in danger either way. But if he does this, if he stops the clot shots, it would be a huge success and people will be very happy. This is a very happy card. This is how other people will react. He would have an enormous support and happiness from the people. But he would also be, of course, not surprisingly, be putting his life in danger, because they would, just like Big Pharma and the World Economic Forum, all they know how to do is kill people, right? That's what they're all of them are mercenaries. They're just slowly bringing in death and destruction and murder. And that's all they know how to do, because I don't know, they're demons or possessed or Nephilim or whatever you want to call them. I don't know. But they just murder, and they will murder Trump for sure, or try to anyways. If he does this, and of course he knows that. I'm sure he's aware. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the mRNA is in everything now. It's in Novocaine if you go to the dentist. It's in everything. It's in everything. They have to take it all out. Yeah. And they're still doing the COVID ones. Yeah. Yeah, Trump loves a good challenge. Yeah, I challenge him. We challenge you, Trump, to stop these mRNA injections. And what will he have to give up? What's his secret enemies? What will he have to give up? What will he have to give up here? Now I got the Hanged Man. Yeah, he's gotta stop, you know, holding back and not doing anything. He's got to stop this inaction. This is like acting like you can't do anything about it. Like, oh, that's just the way it is. Nothing I could do. I'm a victim of this as you are, when we know you're not. And you could do a lot. And you're not stopping anything. Yeah. Yep. He can't pretend that he doesn't know. Yeah. So, of course, he can do it. He's the president. But will he? I think what I'm getting from this is focusing on the children and how the prosperity of our countries depend upon people being able to have children, and the children's health and well-being, and not being afflicted by these injections. And Trump would have to put his own life on the line, honestly. Here he would have to, knowing that he's dealing with a criminal cartel that all it does is murder people, like Klaus Schwab and Yuval Harari and Bill Gates. I mean, all they do is kill, kill, kill all the time. So you're dealing with a bunch of criminals, murderers, and but he's got to do the right thing. He's got to have the balls to do the right thing, and not be under have your short and hairies being held by Klaus Schwab and the gang. Short and curlies, that's the word I'm phrasing it. Not have your short and curlies being in the grip of the World Economic Forum, because that's what's going on right now. I mean, they're bribing him because he wants money. I mean, Trump wants to make money for his own family and family future. But the families are not going to have a future with this mRNA around. It's going to get everybody sooner or later, and then nobody's going to be able to reproduce and continue their family line. So, yeah, you got to stop it sooner than later, even to have a chance. Because there's no going back. I mean, there's no rewinding. There's no undoing this, right? Yeah. Yeah, and go to natural doctors, exactly. Yeah, no one's investigated it, exactly. Yeah, so there you have it. That is what it will take. That's what I see. He needs to have the courage and to face the deaths and listen to what's happening here to the women specifically, the childbearing and whatnot, and what's going on there in that area. And I think that perhaps he will be influenced to do it, get him to push him to do it, face this ugly truth head on and deal with it like a leader that he can be. He is very much a good leader, but he's got to do the right thing, right? Yes. And that will make him more powerful and popular than any leader in history. I'll tell you what, this is a very popular card. You don't get more successful and popular than the sun. So if he stops it, he would be able to get that. He would go down in history, right? Like one of the most popular presidents, the most famous, for taking on the World Economic Forum and Larry Fink and all the rest of the murderers out there. So there you have it. That is what I see for what it'll take to get Trump to stop the clot shots. So thank you all for being here. Great seeing you all. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone. I'm going to sign off now. Bye-bye.